This week is Science Week on the 10-Minute Teacher, sponsored by Legends of Learning. Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn more about legendsoflearning.com for your grade 3 through 8 science classroom. 6 Super Science EdTech Ideas, episode 272.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today, we're talking with Leah LaCrosse, 20-year veteran science teacher from Ohio. And today, we're going to talk about how to use technology to make science more exciting and more effective. So, Leah, what's your first idea for using technology to engage kids in science?
Well, some of the best tools that I've used in the classroom are those that simply enhance the student's voice. And so it could be a medium like maybe Flipgrid, where they're sharing their ideas of a lab or a topic that we're covering. And it's using video, which it seems like it's a really native platform for them right now. One of the things I try to do is give the students the technology that takes their ideas and enhances them for them just in their everyday conversation.
What's another idea?
Another way that I try to give students technology to showcase their science understanding is through like tools that help them to maybe build electronic books. For example, we use in my 8th grade science class, Book Creator, for students to develop everything from science lab reports to personal studies that they do, like individual investigations, and even just topic research. With Book Creator, they can include pictures, they can include video, drawings, text. And so it gives them a couple different ways to share their understanding. And for me, as the science teacher, I can look through it and I can see exactly what they're hitting, what they understand, and maybe some areas that they're misunderstanding.
So, Leah, is there ever a time that either of these technologies have been a distraction, or do you feel like it really moves the science learning forward?
Well, I think with both of them and really any technology that I would use, there is that beginning time period where it's like sandbox time where they're just learning how to use it. And I always think giving my students that sandbox time so that they can play a little bit with the software. And then I feel like they get the play out of the way. After first or second time using it, then I really start looking for the science content to be showcased, because let's be honest, like Flipgrid video is so much fun. And the first time the students use it, they want to get their friends in the video with them, and they want to, even show their like dogs and cats at home and all of that. So really, like, it can be a bit of a distraction at first. And so that's why I always model with the students, like, this is the proper way to create your video, or this is the proper way to set up your Book Creator, book that you're making. But then also giving them a couple chances at maybe making a few of those beginner mistakes and getting a little goofy, and then get it out of your system because this is for a grade. And rubrics help a lot, because then students are engaged, but then they're also invested in it because they know exactly what target they're shooting for.
And I just want to stress, as also a fellow technology educator, that sandboxing is so important. This has been a vital strategy of mine in my 16 years of teaching, is that when I introduce a new tool, to give that 5 to 10 to 15 minutes to play with the tool, enjoy the tool, experience the tool, get excited about it, and then start using it for learning. And sandboxing is such an important principle. Okay, so you've talked about Flipgrid, you've talked about Book Creator. Do you have any other favorite tools?
Well, I really, really like to get my students to sketch out their ideas. We use the Paper 53 app on our iPads. I, of course, start off again by modeling what does a sketch note, or what could a sketch note look like. And we use just short videos in class or short labs, even lectures where there are just a couple of points being made. And we do a couple of sketch notes together. And so students learn to draft out their ideas in a more visual way. And I use this at the beginning of the year, and I give the students a couple of opportunities to work with it. But then I also, like, partway through the year, open it up to, if this is your go-to for sharing your notes, keep using it. But if this isn't working for you, like, let's find something different. And it might be typing up your notes in a Google Doc. It might be just writing it in your science notebook, whatever works. But I like to introduce the tool early enough, give them a couple of opportunities. And I've seen some amazing student sketch notes just using a free app like Paper 53. It's perfect for them.
And visual cues are so important, and handwriting is important, particularly for math and science. They found, you have to be careful because some kids, when they take notes, typing will just transcribe instead of actually processing what they're learning. So those visual cues are so important with sketchnoting. Can we have a fifth idea for technology and science?
Yeah, one of the best ways I feel like using the devices that we have available to us, like our mobile devices, especially in science, is using that camera feature and having the students capture a photo and annotate over top of it. So it could just be in the regular camera app, in the Photos app, or it could be something like Sketch that they annotate over top of. But using the pictures and then even using videos from the classroom, have them use slow motion and watch it over and over and over again. Sometimes I feel like in science, they give us answers that they think are the right answers, not what they're actually seeing or what they're viewing. By having them use that camera and use slow motion and use annotation, you're just focusing them back on the fact that science is visual and I need to report what I see. And my experiment isn't always a cookie cutter answer. So we have so many awesome mobile devices and so many awesome short cycle apps that allow us to capture video and capture images and work with them.
And the idea of actually filming science experiments is such a fantastic idea because, I just remember setting up labs and taking forever setting up the lab. And then the reaction takes just seconds. And if you miss it, then it's like, what do I do? Do I start over? I don't have time to start over and I don't really know what happened. And that's so fantastic because you can replay that experiment and see what happened, can't you?
Yes, over and over. And some of the things that the students understand now, like with Newton's laws and action and reaction, is because that ability to use slow motion and just watch it again and again and again. And they'll play it over and over again. And a lot of what we take in video, I share on our class Instagram account. And so there's kids that are watching that science experiment and even just like Newton's cradle, going back and forth. They're watching that science over and over again, and it just has a little bit deeper context for them at that point.
Now, do you use robots?
We do. In my class, we use the Sphero robot quite a bit. We've even used Mini Sphero and Ollie. So we get into a little bit of light coding with it. With my Spheros, they can do so many engineering challenges with them that it's great that they can learn some coding, but it's even better that they can learn that design thinking and that they can do rapid prototyping. And really, it's a matter of just giving them a prompt and watching the kids use some of those old school tools and blend it with current technology. And I feel like they're much more invested in the science at that point. We do use Lego Mindstorms with a couple kids here and there will love to work with Lego Mindstorms. And I have a robotics club that'll use those. Really, Sphero are kind of my, every unit I can pull Sphero into no matter what the content. So that's my go-to robot.
Okay, so this could seem overwhelming. It's obvious you've been using technology for a while. If you have a teacher who's in science and maybe they've been teaching for a while and they want to get started using a technology, which of these you've mentioned today is a great way to get started?
I would say looking at what they're most comfortable with anyways. For me, I have a master's degree in literacy. And so for me, using Book Creator and using book building tools, that came naturally for me. So when I first got my iPads, I was asking my fifth graders to create cartoons and create books and do things that were more literacy based because that was my first and my most current understanding. I really got into that. And then I had some success there and then started to break out into using iPads more in the lab setting. So my gut instinct is I would start with something like Book Creator because it's something that you can use over and over and over throughout the year. And it's relatively easy to break into. But I think it gives the teacher and the students confidence in using technology with science. So that would be my first, and then branching out.
And if that doesn't work, they can always start filming their experiments, can't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's another great one. So science teachers, technology is another tool in your toolkit. It's a great way to add to what you're doing. You're already, science, which is just fascinating, especially when it's hands-on and you get kids involved, and you just have so many more tools in your toolbox now. And these are some great ones to get started. We will share Leah's information in the show notes because she has so many more ideas. And I hope that you'll use these to make your science classroom more exciting. Legends of Learning has amazing game-based science experiments for students in grades 3 through 8, aligning with next generation science and select state standards. Go to coolcatteacher.com/science and sign up for your free account now. Whether it is earth science, life science, or physical science, you can reinforce, reteach, and take kids further as they play the science game at legendsoflearning.com. And thank you, Legends of Learning, for sponsoring Science Week this week on the 10-Minute Teacher.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.